Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a very exciting one for me because I'm sharing with you my actual completed Notion template, and this is my first paid product that I've made as part of this YouTube channel that's been growing over the last sort of year and a half with the help of you all. So I'm so thankful for all of you who've helped with my growth and who have been supporting my development throughout this. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who pre-ordered and a huge thank you in advance to everybody who is going to order the templates. And I hope this video, even if you decide not to purchase a template, will still be interesting if you are thinking about using Notion for planning your PhD work. I hope that you'll get some inspiration from this video and that you will be able to think about how you can use Notion in a different way. This is going to be something that I'm going to be continuously developing, so that's why I'm really thankful for everybody who has been supporting the project so far in a way, because the income that I've derived from this is going to allow me to continue to develop the template, and that means that I'll continue to be able to provide very hopefully useful content for you, and I'm just so grateful to everybody's support. There are a couple areas in particular that I know I'm going to be developing sooner rather than later, and I will detail those as I go through the template. I will have been putting more effort in, so the price will be going up because I think that as you are signing up later on, you will be signing up for more content in a way. So I think it's only fair that the people who are purchasing now, who are getting in early, should pay a lower price than people who are getting in at a later date when there's more info up there. If you are part of my email list, you'll be getting a coupon code with 10% off, and you should get that as you sign up for my mailing list. If I have future products, if this is something you're watching ages from now, you will still get some sort of discount when you sign up to my mailing list. I will have my website phdproductivity.com linked down below, where you'll be able to sign up to my mailing list, and I'll also have linked down below the place that you are going to be able to purchase the Notion template. So here we have the PhD and productivity template. So this is what you'll see when you first get into it. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of everything. So first to mention, when you want to download it, obviously you can't make any adjustments to this, so I can't click on anything at the moment because this is the template that you'll see. So what you need to do is you need to duplicate this, and then you will log in with your own Notion, and I can actually change things around. So like this is what you'll see once you have downloaded it, once you have duplicated it for yourself. You will then be able to have access to it for yourself. So now you'll be able to check these off as you go along through the day or whatever it might be. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour first of this first page, which is our planning page, which is all of these sort of productivity things. So first thing we have is our calendar. You can add in whatever events you want there. What's cool about adding in events is they are like pages. So let me just see, what event could we have? My birthday, even though it's not. And let's say you have some things that you want to do for that. Then you could have some to-dos like get myself a gift. So it can be literally anything at all. And then that means that we have this little page there, and it means when we click on it, we can see these things and do whatever. Same way, our events can be actually linked to the to-do list. So I will go through this in some more detail in a second, but to mention that you see any of these tasks in our to-do list that have a due date, these I then added a relation in the calendar so that I have these in the calendar. So I have a page in the calendar, but I also have them in this big sort of to-do list. Okay, so that is one aspect of the system. Then next thing to look at is our weekly schedule. So this is a time-blocked schedule. I tried to incorporate some of the videos that would be relevant for these kinds of pages into the template, just because I feel like time blocking, let's say, maybe not all of you have heard of it, and I don't want it to be something that you feel like you can't use. So I have down here a video on time blocking and how I plan my week time blocking as well. And then this is just my original video on Notion, but I'll also include this video in the Notion template so that you can just overlook how to use this. Obviously you can delete these from yours when you download it. I just put in the ones that I felt were most useful for the different sections. So this is a time block schedule. The cool thing about this is basically each week you can make a new one of these adjust it. So if you know that one week you have meetings on different days, it's not like you have to keep this the same the whole time. So you can actually just go ahead and delete these once you're finished with them, and then each time you'll add a new week. So this is going to load up all of these, the weekly schedule, and you'll have a new week there. But obviously I would just delete these at the end of each week because I don't need to keep track of everything I did each week, but I do like to have it as an option. If you want to adjust that for yourself, there's a little configure template thing here, and you can just adjust whatever to fit your schedule. So if you're trying to make one that really fits your schedule, obviously you can adjust that. I only have one of these columns for doing things, and then I like to move it over each day, just because then it means I can tick them off each day and then untick them. So yeah, you can configure that any way you would like, but this is the way I've done it just as an example. Another really cool thing about this is that you can actually link your schedule to different pages. So this is something that I will go through. You'll see that here we have it linked to my thesis page, so it will just go straight to that, and it means as I'm going through the day I can work on different things. I have some that are linked directly to my skills page, and it's just really handy. So it means you can always come back to this page throughout the day and then look back at your schedule and just be pulled over to whatever page you want to be at. So I just have for morning and evening routine a couple of basic things, whatever you want to put in there. If you're trying to keep track of any habits, again, I would just usually untick these and tick these every day, because I don't really like to have big tables keeping track of that kind of thing. So the next thing I want to go through is this table. This is related to this video here. So again, if you want to see like maybe a little bit more about how it works, you can. Essentially, this is how you can organize your to-do list based on the book Getting Things Done by David Allen, and I do talk about this in this video in more detail, so I would recommend checking this out. But you can switch around the views, so you can look at it so that it's only based on what context, that you know if you need to make some calls, you can look at these tasks. If you need to do stuff at home, you can make those tasks. And obviously it means if you're looking at it per context, you can just add a new one in there and it will automatically be tagged with the home context. Another thing you can do is only look at the high priority tasks, and then you'll see all of the ones that are high priority. So those are all going to be built into yours once you've downloaded it, and you can look at it whatever way you want. So that's the main things in the sort of planning template. And then I have links to different things as well. So the first thing I have is Getting Started Guide. So this is just a link to this video because I felt like during first year it was really hard to know what you should be doing, so I just thought that would be a nice thing to put in there. And I'm also probably going to put a link to this video as sort of getting started with this template. But I think it's nice for you to have access to something like this, or maybe make your own version of this where it's kind of things you can do when you're not really sure what to be doing. The next thing that I have is this motivation and goal setting template. So this has lots of different things you can do to stay motivated or to get yourself motivated. One thing is working on your abstract. So that has a link to the abstract page, and it means you have a video there about how to write your abstract, but also some pointers as to what to include in your abstract. This video also explains why it's a good idea to do your abstract early. And it's something that I did, and it really helps me stay focused and motivated on my PhD. The next thing that I have is a vision board. So obviously these are just some examples, but it could just be things that motivate you for your PhD visually. So I have this meme from Dory from Finding Nemo saying, just keep writing, and I feel like that's so PhD. One thing I'd like to do as part of my PhD is talk at Soapbox Science eventually. And I have Visit Tokyo, but you could put down anything at all, and you can put down loads of different things. Okay, so back we go. So that was our vision board. The next thing is our PhD statement of purpose. This is something that you may need to do as part of your application, but I don't really feel like I had to do anything specific like this, and I've done one since for myself just because I feel like it is a really good thing to look back at, especially when you're feeling things like imposter syndrome. It can be a great thing to look at this statement of purpose and realize, hey, I actually do have all the qualifications needed to be in this program, and I know exactly why I'm here and why I want to do this. A lot of the prompts here are used from this little article here. So again, that's another great thing about Notion. You can just embed articles and videos and things. So I've embedded this article so that you guys can check that out as well. And I use that to sort of help. So you can fill this in for yourself, whether you're doing that as part of your PhD application or not. I feel like either way, it is a really helpful thing to do. I also have a link to your resume because that can also be a great way to keep yourself motivated, like keep track of all of the little and big achievements that you do as part of your PhD. And this was just the basic template that came with Notion for a resume, but I feel like it works quite well. So I kept that, but you might want to add in some things for yourself. And then lastly, the couple things that I have coming soon are the goal setting templates. So at the moment, I don't have anything in here, but I do have a link to all of my different goal setting videos because this is something I have been playing around with for myself and I want to make sure it's perfect before it's done. And the other thing that will be coming soon as well is your PhD like research plan, which is like actually planning out all the 4 years. So that is going to be coming soon as well. So all of the sort of goal setting videos that I've made before need to be packaged into sort of a nice template. And then down the bottom here, I just have some videos about generally what to do when you're feeling demotivated. Moving on to the thesis, this is going to be the main workspace for when you're actually doing work and trying to keep track of notes. So again, I have a link to the abstract page again, so you can fill that in and just have quick access to that. I also have a link to the literature page, which can include all of the different papers that you have tracked as part of your PhD. So you can tag these with the different research questions, but if you wanted to add another column with specific tags to do with anything to do with your research, there might be something specific in your research area. Like for me, I might track what type of machine learning model was used. If you're in a different kind of research area, obviously that's going to be very different, but maybe you'd be tracking like whether it's qualitative or quantitative, but anything like that will be important to keep track of. And then I just say it's good to include sort of a one-line summary. Again, I have all my videos about reading papers, and doing a literature review all linked down there. And what I have in here is just you can see, again, each paper will be a little page of itself. So you can include the abstract and some notes. And it just means that as you're adding a new paper, you will be able to do that pretty easily. So you can do new paper 5, good paper about a author 6. Journal 6. And again, if you are constantly using the same journals and authors, you could even have the authors as actual like keywords. So having them as either not really a select, but a multi-select, so that you can have multiple tags. And that way it's kind of quicker for adding different researchers or different journals. I don't really have that as part of mine. So I'm just gonna pop that in for research question 4. And then I would put the abstract and notes in there. So you can see that was added in pretty handily. So that is that one there. So back to the thesis page. The next thing to kind of go through, I'm just going to skip over this for a second, but we have our research diary, which is a similar sort of table. So you can tag with whether it's just general daily research writing, or whether it's meeting notes. And I have a template, and you can also do which research question it's for. I have a template for daily research diary entry, which includes some prompts for like reflection. And I feel like this has been something that's been really helpful for me recently, is filling out things like this to check in with myself to see how my research has been going and just how I've been finding things. So I just got some prompts in there about just sort of reflection, challenges and wins. And then I also have my to-dos. So this means that as I'm reflecting, if something pops into my mind as a to-do, I can just go ahead and add that straight away, which is really helpful. So I'll just delete this for the moment. Okay, and the next thing that I have is meeting notes. So again, I have a template here, and again, you can adjust these templates or make your own, but I have a little page for what was the topic of the meeting and what materials are required. So I might have a link to whatever page in Notion the meeting is going to be about, who was at the meeting, and then any notes, and then again any to-dos that might have come up from the meeting. So I think those templates are so helpful because Just means when I'm in a meeting, I have a really quick way to keep track of things. Again, I have some useful videos about reading papers, writing papers, just academic writing in general. And then just to go into detail on each of these research questions individually. So I'm going to start off here. This is going to be a page for individual research questions, and I've laid this out the way that I like things laid out. This is the way that I've been sharing my research, and I do have a video about that, which I'll have linked down below, which was the first video I made on Notion, and I think it did sort of just give everyone potentially a different way of organizing things in Notion for your actual research. So the first thing is I have all of these linked tables. So I have selected for each of these. This is going to be the same table we had before with all of the research diary entries, but I've just filtered it to be for research question 4. So this I've done by just filtering by research question 4. It's actually really simple. And same way I've filtered my to-do list for any project relating to research question 4. And this is going to be my to-do list that's in the actual planning page that you would have seen before. And the same way in my literature, I've got just research question 4's papers linked in there. And you can see even like it all does update automatically. So that paper that I put in earlier is going to be there. And then what I like to do is I keep track of any notes from the literature. And what's really helpful is that you can actually embed a link to a given paper. So I can open that paper and see the abstract and the notes. So I think that's such a handy way to keep track of any literature. I'm in the process of converting all of my literature notes into Notion at the moment, and I do feel like it is just a handy way to keep them kind of organized and making sure that you're relating them to each research question. For my type of research, I feel the handiest thing, for my type of research, I often will have sort of sub-research questions. So outside of the main research question, I've got individual research questions underneath that. And I like to organize everything based on each individual research question. That means that rather than having all of the information like sprung out at me right now, I like to keep them in these little toggles, because then I can just look at the information that I need to at a given time. And I feel like that sort of helps me to stay focused on whatever task I'm working on. So I keep the methods in there. I keep results, and you can also keep some notes about the results. You can add comments, you can add some info underneath, and then any conclusions that I've derived for that sub-research question. I'm actually in the process this week of writing up a paper, and it's been so helpful to have the Notion template like this where I have all of my info in the one place, because that paper has been so quick to write, just to easily write it up, because I had all of my methods, all of my results, all of my work to date, all of the intro-y material was all there in sort of bullet points and sort of with any comments that I was doing along the time. And it just made it so easy to do this write-up. So I've really been enjoying working with these, and I hope you will also enjoy them. So that's the same. I did this basically the same way for all those. The only one I did differently was research question 1. I just have a plain methods, results, and conclusions. If you're the type of person who doesn't necessarily have lots of sub-research questions as part of their main research questions, then that can help. And then that is pretty much it for all of the thesis pages. I think I'm going to continue obviously adding to these, and as I find more things that work, I'll be continuing to develop this. But I feel like for the moment, this has been really helpful for me, and I hope you'll enjoy it too. The last section that I just need to go through is our transferable skills, which is definitely sort of a work in progress section. This is going to be the place where you're going to be able to keep track of your development of all of these transferable skills that are going to be really important to develop as part of your PhD. If you don't really know what I'm talking about, I have these videos here about transferable skills and how to track those, obviously on paper, but this is going to be a much better way to do that. These are all going to be sort of a work in progress, because I am going to be starting to take each of these and work on them and kind of build a plan, and obviously share a video related to that of how to develop these. So at the moment, I have in different ones a couple videos relating to it. So I've got some on academic writing, I've got some on media skills, obviously this video about making a poster in Canva. So I'd like to continue developing these and obviously making content surrounding these, but for the moment this is going to be what it is, and obviously you can just keep track of these in your own way. So that is it for this template, and I'm so excited about this. It is my first product, and I really hope that you enjoy it. That is it for this video. That is it for my template, and well, my first version of this template, and obviously it's something that I'm going to keep developing. So thank you all so much for your support so far. Thank you all to my wonderful members as always for making it possible for me to keep making these videos. And thank you all for watching and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video.